Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Well, this has been an interesting morning for sure. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. If you guys are on, let me make sure this is working. For starters, am I on? Can you guys actually see me? Can you even hear me? Can you guys say hello? Okay. Yay. We are. Oh gosh, look at this hair, y'all. Look at this hair. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am here. This didn't go as planned, but excuse me, I am here. I literally decided I am coming to the bedroom. I was trying to get this live out there with all of the construction going on here at my sister's, and it was not working. I couldn't get the signal, you name it, all the things. I was like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to try it from the bedroom. And I did this 6 times. And so I'm truly hoping that I am clear. My Wi-Fi is going to hang in there for us, all the things. All right. So good morning, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Melissa Jeffrion, will you text me? I don't even know what I did with my phone. Oh, it's right here. And let me know that I am good to go. You can hear me and everything. All right. So good morning. I sent y'all a text to all my blue mamas out there about today. I basically said, let's do a little bit of a Q&A. Let's do a little bit of maybe boys. Now, I know some of you are thinking, okay, I thought we were going to meet more often. I want to ask you guys, so I thought you were in a different time zone and missed the start time because I thought I saw you on a plane. Well, that's kind of how my last 24 hours has been. However, so just a little update for you guys. My sister is completely remodeling her place. And you guys remember we're living here right now. If we're not at Moss Lake, we're here. And so we're in the last final stages where everything is being shifted. So it was really good we've been gone because we've had no water. And then last night we got to hear about 1 o'clock in the morning, and they had just restained all the floors. So the toilet had been pulled out and all these things. And so we were having a really hard time getting the Wi-Fi to work. But I just finally came to my big iMac, and here we are. So, but let me talk to you guys about meeting. I know that we said, obviously, raise your hand if you guys got the text about today. If you didn't get the text about today, I'm going to put here in the comments, text boy mom to 940-242-5443. So that way I can be sure that I can tag you, if you will, or put a little asterisk on you for boy mom. Okay, good. You guys remember for me, it's summer. And so I don't want to promise a consistency. I don't know if that works out or not for you, but I want to promise you, I didn't, but I'll text. I think I missed doing that. Okay, no worries, Brianna. Yeah, Brianna, you're 100% on my text. I know that. But maybe you didn't send boy mom because you guys know that I will tag you where you want to be communicated with. So, but all that to say, it's summertime. And so I want to be sure that we meet, but I also want to be sure that I alert you first. I send you a text first because I want to walk through this journey with you girls. Prime example, we're leaving today around 1 o'clock. Okay, perfect. We're leaving today around 1 o'clock to head to the Argyle 7-on-7 state championship tournament. And so I even walk into today, I will be surrounded by blue. Not only surrounded by blue, but I will be surrounded by testosterone that has to win. I mean, I think we all have to win, but. And so one of the things I was thinking about you guys, which is why I wanted to do this morning, was because I'm walking in to an entire blue world. I want you girls to know that, okay? An entire blue world. And it's going to look different than if I'm getting on a plane with Haley and Melissa and we're going to New York City. So the first thing I want to assure you guys is that I'll probably be sending out some LOL text as I'm surrounded by my husband coaching the 7-on-7 team and all the boys, where the testosterone is up here because winning is on their radar, which means that everything else is so serious, which means they don't have a lot to say, which means they are linear focused on a victory, which means they don't think I'm funny, which means no, they don't want me to hang out with them, which means I have to turn my ears off for all the athlete chit chatter, competition chit chatter that's going to happen. And so I want to explain to you girls, and then we're going to go into y'all's questions, but I want to explain to you girls the fact that I have to prepare myself as if we go all the way back in the, what are they called? Like the old days, whatever. And there were the Colosseums. You guys remember the chariot times? There was the Colosseum, and you go into that Colosseum and you know that they're going to battle. Like chariots are going to come out and they're going to battle. And your heart is racing because you know it's the same. Girls, listen to me. Because it's 2021 doesn't mean that our blue is not super competitive. Whether it's band, whether it's grades, whether it's sports, whether it's fishing, whether it's archery, whether it's football, whether it's cross country, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. UIL, reading, it doesn't matter. We've got to remember that when a man walks into battle, they're a completely different creature. And that may mean also too, when they're little. I don't want you to dismiss what I'm saying because you have a 4-year-old. It's the same when you go into playing Legos and you make a mistake and they have a meltdown. Well, they're not 17 and 25. So they don't know how to just be like, and walk off. They don't know how to do that. So their emotions, they melt down. But what I want to encourage you women, listen to me, is that we don't stop. That's a double negative. That's okay. That we don't stop putting our boys in a place to compete in whatever that looks like for them. Competing may not be on your radar. That's okay. But I want to remind you girls, let's talk about to your husbands for just a second, or maybe your grown children. I'm talking to you with grown children and a husband. Remember that in the middle of the night, when you hear that in your house, when you hear this, it's not you that gets up. It's not you that gets up to see who just came into your house. It's the man. The same adrenaline that we need in them, the same fierceness that we need in them when someone's in our house at 3 a.m. or our house is burning down and they take the women and the children out to the street and the man's running back in to get the dog and running back in to get the stuff. Do you know more men die in house fires than women? Why? Because they're the ones with the fierce determination to run back in. Now, why do I say all that? Because I think as women, we spend a lot of time trying to get that out of them. From the time they're little bitty to the time they're grown, from the time they're playing Legos or fighting dinosaurs and they get fierce and they want their dinosaur to win, all the way up to watching a college football game and their team is losing. We try to take the man out of the man. And so whether they're little or whether they're grown, what I want you to remember, this is my whole goal with all of you, is that the journey, there's still a man. And girls, let me say something to you. Regardless of whether we like it or not, it's how God wired a man, okay? It doesn't matter if we like it or not. We are pink. And let me assure you, PSA, there's some things about us they don't like. But we're women. And girls, listen to me, PSA, they're men. And so that's the first thing I wanted to start with. So y'all stay close because I'm sure I'm going to be sending you some LOL text as it starts in our vehicle, as we take a car full of juniors and seniors to compete in the 7-on-7 state championship game with a husband who coaches and is super competitive. And we're not sore losers, but we don't like to lose. See, that doesn't make us a bad attitude. Just because boys don't like to lose doesn't make them a bad attitude. Just because a little boy cries because he lost that t-ball game doesn't make him a sissy. We've got to give our men space to be men. All right. Now, some of y'all had questions. Let's put your questions. I know you guys text me some questions. Y'all put your questions here in the chat because I want to chat. I just said I would answer some questions today. My text to you is, what's a nugget of wisdom that you would love? Let me see if I can pull some. Excuse me. What nugget of wisdom, actually, I'm going to pull it up on my computer because it's easy. So y'all tell me, what nugget of wisdom would you love for me to seed into you about these beautiful, beautiful creatures that we get to live life with, called our blue men? All right, so you guys go ahead and start asking away in the chat bar. Ask away, ask away. And remember, I am when I ask you guys a question, I said, what you want to know, one thing you'd love me to chat about. So when I ask you guys a question, be sure that, well, I guess I could read some of these. Do y'all want me to just read some of these? How about I just read some of these? Is this easier? Let's go over a few of these. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so let's see. Melanie Floyd's text. She's like, sister, where are you? Thank you so much, Melanie. Okay, one of the questions was from Jennifer. How can I be a supportive potential and eventually a mother-in-law? So Jennifer, because you have a little girl, I will say to you, go as fast as you can, all of you, and get the book For Women Only. Read that book consistently, because the reason we mistreat men is because we don't understand that that's how God wired them. And we as women set out on a journey to change them. So Jennifer, I would say to you, to all of you, please go get the book For Women Only by Shanti Feldhahn. Okay. Let's see. All the things. Okay, let's see. Katie said how to be, is Katie on here right now? Is Katie on here right now? Okay, so Katie said how to be more encouraging, but not come off as bossy or controlling. Okay, that's a really good question. So you got to remember, there's a huge difference in encouraging and bossy and controlling. Bossy stems from, I am going to tell you what to do. Controlling means it has to be my way. And may I quote you, the thing I hate the most is when I hear a happy wife is a happy life. No, that means The happy wife is manipulating your life. That's what that means. There's no one on this planet that can make you happy, sis. You have to do that. Your husband's not responsible for that, nor are your children. That's not what today's about. So, that being said, bossy is a choice. That means you're demanding and commanding and telling people what to do because that's the best thing that you decide off your current knowledge. Controlling is it has to be my way and you're going to do it my way. Encouraging is understanding. Remember, seek to understand, girls. Understanding how God wired this thing. Good morning. How God wired this thing with the penis. How did you wire this thing? Hairy people. They're different. Seek to understand before you want to be understood. And when we understand that, then we know how to encourage. Then we know that respect goes a long way. Then we know how to honor. Then we know how to speak their blue language, not our pink language, AKA most of you talk way too much. Okay. Hi. Your hair is so cute, by the way. Okay, let's see. Talking to your teenage boy about girls and having to talk about sex. Okay, Andrea. I read that text the other day. So honestly, I let Brian talk to the boys about sex, quite honestly. I'll tell them from a female's perspective what it looks like. And I tell them, now a lot of you women who have girls, I totally get it. You girls want to protect your girls from boys. But most people don't realize we also need to protect our boys from girls. Because when your boy is an absolute champion, girls are very persuasive. They're very provocative anymore. And so the shoe goes both ways, right? So I talk to my boys about what the female version of sex looks like and what they have to be careful with as boys because I know my kind. And so Brian talks to them about the hormones and about the being turned on and about the thoughts that run rampant. See, you and I girls don't think about pornography all day. Not pornography, excuse me, about sex all day. You and I are not thinking of images that we've seen all day. If you read for women only, you're going to understand what I'm saying. You and I men think of two things, sex and food. That's it. And so we have to be fully aware of that, or we try to talk to them as women. And you and I don't wake up turned on all the time. It just is what it is. Again, read for women only. How can we help with an emotionally healthier relationship between our sons and our husbands? Renee, read for women only. I will tell you that really quickly. When we understand, I'm going to continue to say this, when we understand how God wired a man, we understand what our role is. And it's something I'm going to always say to you girls. You must have girlfriends. Or your husband is not your girlfriend. Your boys are not your girlfriend. Your boys are not going to notice you got your hair cut. Your boys are not going to notice that you cooked a great dinner. Like all of the things we desire as women, we get from women. You guys know that, right? And so you literally, if you learn to respect, everything will begin to change. This isn't about marriage. So I want to say something, but I'm not. Okay. Yes, Katie Miller, For Women Only is the best book ever. How do you help a 4-year-old boy not to throw things and hit when he loses? So Cheryl, that is such a good question. What we don't want to take out of him is the aggression and the inability to accept loss, okay? What we do want to train them is how to behave. There's a big difference. What we tend to do is we tend to want to take out that champion, take out that competitiveness, take out that valve that they need to win. I mean, we don't want you to have to win. You don't have to win. You don't have to win. Like, who cares if you win? Who cares if you lose? Come on, you don't have to win. And then they're 40 and we've beat into their heads that they don't have to win. And then they have a family. and we beat into their head that they didn't have to win. So we've got to take how we treat our little boys and ask, what is this going to look like when they're 20? See, most of us are too obsessed about a toddler. We're too obsessed about a kindergartner. We're too obsessed about understanding what it's to be 9. We're too obsessed with a 12-year-old. We're too obsessed with middle school. We're too obsessed. We need to be obsessed with raising champion men, because they're only going to be a toddler for so long. They're only going to be a kindergartner for so long. They're only going to be in 2nd grade. See, when we obsess over the one season, we forget about the rest of their life. They will be a grown man. So picture, Cheryl, your 4-year-old throwing and hitting things when he loses. Okay, well, we seek to understand a man is super competitive and they don't like to lose. And when he's 40, I'm going to love that about him, because he's going to provide for his family and he's going to be an absolute champion. And he's going to get up and he's going to go to work. But I have to teach you how to behave. And so, number one, what's not acceptable, whether you're playing a game or playing Legos or playing football or playing cards when you're grown, is throwing things and punching things. And so, buddy, listen, I understand that you don't like to lose. I totally get that. Neither does mommy. But what we don't do is throw things. Okay? That's not how we talk about not liking to lose. And so we address the behavior. We don't address the wiring. Write that down. We address the behavior, not the wiring. Okay? Most of us want to rewire instead of address the behavior. All right. That was a good question. How do you handle being told or catching your child doing something you didn't approve of? We all have that one incident where someone has told us what was seen or heard and was done. Sure, Melissa. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Number one, Melissa, is it a boy? Tell me if it's a boy. Just because I don't want this to necessarily be a parenting time. I want this to be a boy time. What would you find is good advice for young adult men with relationships? I know there are bumps in the road. Yeah, no doubt. So Riley has broken up with his girlfriend. And so here's what I will say to all of you moms. We're women. That's the beautiful part about having a son, is bring the perspective of a woman. We can bring the perspective of our side, right? So everybody that's in high school, all the boys, right, like to say girls are just such emotional drama, and she's just drama, and she's so emotional, and she's just mentally unstable. That's what they like to say. And I'm like, hey boys, can I just give you guys some wisdom? They're females. And so you're going to find, whether it's now or whether it's when they're 25 or whether it's when they're 40 or what, they're emotional, they're drama, and they're gossip, and they're pot stirrers, and they're explosive. It doesn't matter what age they are. And so don't judge her on that. Understand she's upset, and that's her way that she's been taught to behave. That's how I help my boys. Let me help you understand, so you recognize the behavior in women. Then there's girls you're going to break up with that take it like a walk out classy, and they're like, of course I'm heartbroken, and they're upset, but they're not going to be dumb, right? So again, if we teach our boys about behavior, you guys, it's a whole different thing. And then I'm walking through this with Riley, to be quite honest. I also am having Riley explain to me, because men are also very linear. They have a waffle brain, and there's a quadrant, and you must jump into each quadrant. We're spaghetti, okay? And so Riley's very linear. And so it is what it is. They broke up. I don't want to follow her on social media, and I don't want to talk to her because I want it out of sight, out of mind for me, because I don't want, and I got things to focus on, and I've got football to focus on. And I'm like, it's a mosquito. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so rude. And then I'm thinking, wait, no, that's not rude. Why would I call Riley rude? That is how a man heals. I got it. I'm about to get this mosquito. Melissa. Did you get it? No, but there's a mosquito. So I will tell you, communicate and give your perspective as a woman. And then I always say to Riley, talk to your dad, because your dad has been through breakups. Your dad has walked through this. Your dad, right? I don't know what a man thinks in a breakup. I have no idea. I have no idea. And girls, mamas, listen to me. It doesn't make you less of a mom because you say, I don't understand what it's like to be a boy during a breakup. I can tell you from a female's perspective. I don't want to train you, my boy, how to behave like a girl when you break up with someone. Okay? Does that help? Okay. Okay, here comes Phyllis. Yes. Phyllis has raised 3 amazing men. And so they're all grown. So Phyllis said, allow mistakes to happen. Help them figure out a path to correction. Don't pave the roads for them. They need to know how to handle when things don't go their way. That is correct. Because again, remember, life isn't hard. It's choosing our boys how to cope as a man, not as a woman. Right? Okay. Let's see if there's another. Let's see. Empty nest. That's a parent, Stacy. So how to guide my 12-year-old boy when he wants to give his 2 cents that isn't wanted or needed. Oh, Laura, that's good. How to guide my boy who gives his 2 cents when it's not wanted or needed. Let me encourage you that 12-year-old is going to be 20. Their 2 cents is always wanted and it's always needed, because every person in your home should have a voice. And so you take the meat and spit out the bones, but you've got to remember, if you have to be right and you have to be in control, then I think I don't need to know what you have to say. But I can tell you one of the things that I love is how much my boys and I will chat about things, because their 2 cents is always wanted and always needed. But I accept their 2 cents based off of their current level of experience and knowledge. So raise y'all's hand if you've heard your kids say, you just don't understand. Anybody? You just don't understand. You just don't understand, Mom. You just don't understand what it's like to be in high school. Yeah, you're right. I don't understand. I don't have a clue. Yeah? Okay, thank you. Exactly, right? So I think 2 cents is always needed. It's always valued. It's always welcomed. But I filter it with their current level of experience, their age, current level of thinking, but I never insult or ridicule my boys for bringing something to the table. Now, I may say, hey, buddy, can I give you a different perspective? Or I may say, that's a good perspective. That's good thinking. Thank you for adding that to me. That's it. But I can tell you, if you shut down a boy, his wife will shut down a man. If we teach our boys how to be shut down, they will be shut down when they're married. Because you got to remember, a man is either fight or flight. And when they learn they can't have a voice, they fly. None of you want your boys to fly. Don't ever forget me telling you that. You always want your boys to come back home because mama respected them. Mama gave them a place to be a man. Mama gave them an environment to be the best God-created blue creature on the planet. Because girls, let me say this to you. Your little boy is going to grow up to be a teenager, to be a 20-something, a 30-something, a 40-something, a 50-something. And when you see a lot of grown men, you can trace it all back to their mom. And that sucks when we have to hear stuff like that. Trust me. Remember, Reagan looked at me when he was little and said, I don't want to marry a woman like you. I had to receive that. not go into defense and not be offended. I had to hear what he was saying. So if your boys are yelling out at you, hear what they're saying. Maybe they don't know how to say it when they're 5. Maybe they don't know how to say it when they're 10. Maybe they don't know how to say it properly when they're 15. But hear what they are saying. If your husbands are crying out to you, hear what they are saying. They may jab you and move on, but hear what they are saying. Now, I want to end with this. It's about 30 minutes now. I want to end with this. Let me say this to you girls. Your battle is not blue. Your battle is not blue. Your battle is a lack of understanding. Your battle is spending too much time on what it looks like to be a woman and trying to make our men a woman, and our boys a woman, and their responses a woman, and their reactions a woman, and their everything a woman. That's your biggest battle, is that you don't understand. Seek to understand before you, mama, want to be understood. And so there's a lot of times I guard my tongue because I sit and I think, what do I know about men right now? What do I know about men right now? He's not trying to be super aggressive. He's in the cooker. He's not trying to be rude. He's got a football game today. Of course, he noticed me there. He's in the zone. Okay? So, go get the book for women only. Do you promise me that you will go get that book? Anybody promise me? Read that book. I have it. I have read that book for 18 years. I have studied thousands of men. I have taught that book to thousands of people. It is literally my most favorite book about men on the planet. And it's cool. It's not like you have to read it beginning to end. You definitely want to read the whole thing. However, each chapter is a point of study, which is so fascinating. Like, did you know that men, AKA, actually, I'm not even teaching. And maybe those are a few nuggets I teach here. That would be cool. Okay? All right. Thank you, Wendy. Yes, you guys promise to go get that. All right. I'll tell you guys what. All of you that are on here today, and even by tonight, Melissa, let's say at 10 o'clock. Tonight at 10 o'clock, I will do a drawing for women only. Text me and tell me what is your most vulnerable response to what I just taught you today? How are you willing to not be right and say, wow, I realized I was doing it wrong? The best day for your blue is the day that what triggers in you is that God created a beautiful species when he created a man. Beautiful species. Hi, babe. Speaking of. And that most of the time, girls, it's our lack of understanding, number one, or B, we treat the blue in our life like we've seen the blue in our life get treated. So we treat our husband and boys the way we watched our mother treat our fathers and brothers. Okay? So number one, it's either a lack of understanding, or number two, it's a behavior legacy. So if you text me, be vulnerable. What one thing today hit you? Text me. What one thing hit you today that you thought, you know what, I'm going to do this better. And I'm going to do a drawing, and I'll draw tonight, let's say 10 o'clock, Melissa, 10 o'clock this evening, and I'll give away one of the books. It'll be in the mail to you tomorrow. All right? Mwah! Go have a blue day, everyone. How can you add value to the blue in your life today? That's what I want to know. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Goodbye, everyone.